How to sell thinking, not fulfillment. Practical training for consultants and advisors who want to get paid for clarity, not tasks. Module 1. The 4 key principles that will transform how you sell your expertise. Introduction. The shift that changes everything. Let me tell you something that's going to sound controversial, but once you truly understand it, it will fundamentally change how you operate, how you price your services, and how you sleep at night. The problem isn't that there aren't enough clients. The problem isn't your pricing. The problem isn't even your expertise. The problem is that the market is traumatized. And until you understand that, really understand it on a bone deep level, you'll keep wondering why brilliant consultants and advisors like yourself struggle while mediocre ones with better positioning thrive. Let's get into the 4 key principles. Principle 1. You're not fighting a money problem, you're fighting a trust deficit. Here's what you need to understand first and foremost. There is money everywhere. Embrace abundance. Businesses are spending. Budgets exist. Investment is happening. Don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you otherwise. I see consultants and advisors blame the economy or tight budgets when the real issue is something else entirely. We as consumers have been burned. Your potential clients have been burned. They've hired experts who promised transformation and delivered PowerPoint decks. They've paid for strategies that never got implemented. They've been sold certainty when what they got was chaos. They've watched as experts parachute in, diagnose nothing, prescribe everything, and disappear before the consequences arrive. And now they're scared. Not about spending money. They're scared about making another expensive mistake. They're scared about looking foolish. They're scared about being the person who champions another failed initiative. Your competition isn't other consultants or advisors. Your competition is their most recent failures. So what exactly is your job? In my opinion, your job is to shorten the distance to trust. Not through hype, not through promises, not through a slicker deck or a better website, through method. Through calm, professional certainty that says, I have done this before, I know what I'm looking for, I know how to find it, and I will show you exactly what I see before we decide anything together. That's how you earn trust in a traumatized market. You become the least risky option by being the most methodical one. This is your first identity shift from solution seller to truth finder. Principle 2. You are a doctor, not a hired gun. Think about the last time you went to see your doctor. Did you walk in, hand them a prescription and say, just sign here, will ya? Of course not. That would be absurd. Instead, what happened is your doctor asked you questions. They examined you. Maybe they ordered tests. They took time to understand what was actually happening in your body before they recommended anything. And here's the key. You trusted them more because of this process, not less. You didn't think, God, this is taking forever, just give me the pills. You thought, good, they're being thorough. They're actually caring about getting this right. This is exactly how you need to operate. Your process needs to be as follows. Number 1, triage. Understand the presenting symptoms and whether this is even something you should be trying to fix. 2, discovery. Gather data, ask questions, and observe. Dig until you reach the emotion that is driving them away from point A, the problem they have that they do not want, and the emotions that they are trying to get closer to, their point B. The result, the transformation they're looking for, but they are struggling to achieve. Number 3, diagnosis. Synthesize what you've learned into a clear picture of the current reality and where they want to get to after the problem has been solved. Number 4, recommendation. Present options with clear trade-offs and predicted outcomes that show how you help them get from point A to point B. Do you notice what's missing here? We're not jumping straight to solutions. Here's the line I want you to internalize, the line that will save you from bad clients and bad projects. I can't tell you how I can help until I know exactly what's wrong. This isn't a limitation. This is professional integrity. And it's also brilliant positioning. Because when you say this, you're communicating something powerful. You're not here to sell them what you brought. You're here to discover what they need. That immediately separates you from every desperate consultant or advisor who's trying to hammer their pre-packaged solution into whatever problem presents itself. Remember this, your potential client can usually tell you their symptoms, but they rarely understand the causes and they rarely can identify them on their own. This is your second identity shift from solution provider to diagnostic expert. Principle 3, your value is clarity, not self-sacrifice. Now we get to the part that's going to liberate you. Deep down, you probably believe that your value is tied to outcomes, that you're only worth what you charge if the client succeeds, that you should feel guilty charging for your time if they don't implement your solution perfectly. Let me just destroy that belief right now. You're not responsible for everything that does or does not happen. A cardiologist doesn't get blamed when their patient leaves the hospital and immediately starts chain smoking. A financial advisor isn't liable when their client ignores their advice and makes emotional investment decisions. An architect isn't at fault when the builder cuts corners during construction. Your value is the accuracy and the clarity of your thinking. That's what you are selling. That's what you get paid for. You diagnose correctly. You identify the real problem, not the symptom. You see the patterns they can't see because they're too close to it. You bring frameworks, experience, and perspective that they do not have. You show them the trade-offs they haven't considered. You help them make better decisions. That's the product. That's the service. That's the offer. That's the solution. It may be difficult to accept, but the truth is, what they do with it, that's on them. This doesn't mean you don't care about implementation. Of course you do, but implementation is a separate service with a separate price and separate terms. It's optional, not mandatory. Your mantra becomes, I sell clarity and decisions. Implementation is optional and separate. This single mindset shift will stop you from underpricing for your diagnostic work, prevent scope creep from destroying your boundaries, protect you from taking responsibility for things you can't control, allow you to walk away from clients who want you to own their results. This mindset shift will let you sleep at night, knowing you did your job well, regardless of what happened next. This is your third identity shift, from outcome owner to clarity provider. Principle 4. You're a jetpack, and not every client can handle you. Here's the final principle, and it's the one that protects everything else. Imagine you're a jetpack, not a metaphorical one, an actual, powerful jetpack that creates enormous thrust. Now imagine you can strap that jetpack onto anything: a Formula One car, a bicycle, a shopping trolley, a toddler's tricycle. What happens when you strap a jetpack onto a tricycle? It's going to disintegrate. That vehicle isn't built for that level of force. It wasn't designed for that speed. The structure can't handle it, and when it breaks apart, everyone standing nearby points at the jetpack and says, that thing is dangerous. But the jetpack isn't the problem. The vehicle was the problem. This is what happens when you attach yourself to clients who are not ready for you. You bring clarity, you bring strategy, you bring transformation, you accelerate everything. And if they do not have the leadership maturity to handle hard truths, the operational capacity to implement change, the cultural readiness to embrace a new direction, the financial stability to see things through, the emotional resilience to weather the transition, then you will break them. And when that happens, guess who gets blamed? Not them for being unprepared. It's going to be you for being too theoretical or not practical or just plain disruptive. This is why qualification isn't just about budget and need. It's about fitness to proceed. Your triage process must include these questions. Are they actually ready for what I do? Can their organization handle the pace of the change I am going to bring? Do they have the structure to implement what I will recommend? Is the leadership team aligned enough to move forward together? Are they willing to hear the things they don't want to hear? If the answer to any of these is no, you walk away, not rudely, not judgmentally, but firmly and surely, because your reputation is built on successful transformations, and you can't have successful transformations with clients who are not ready to transform. This is your fourth identity shift, from service provider to selective partner. Let's bring this all together. You are no longer someone who simply sells services, offers, or solutions. You are someone who recognizes that trust is earned through method, not promises. You shorten the distance to trust by being systematic, predictable, and professional. Boring is good. Consistency is good. Safe is good. You operate like a doctor, not a hired gun. You diagnose before you prescribe. You gather information before you recommend. You maintain professional boundaries around your role. You sell clarity and decisions, not outcomes. Your value is the quality of your thinking and the accuracy of your diagnosis. Implementation is separate, optional, and differently priced. You only work with ready clients. You are extremely selective about who you attach yourself to because you understand that not every organization can handle the level of transformation you bring. These aren't just nice ideas. These are the operating principles that will allow you to charge significantly more for your expertise, avoid bad clients before they become problems, protect your reputation and your peace of mind, build a business that's sustainable and enjoyable, create transformations that actually stick because you chose the right clients. This is how you sell thinking, not fulfillment. This is how you get paid for clarity, not tasks. And this is how you build a business that serves you as much as it serves your clients. Here is your assignment before Module 2. Before we move forward, I want you to do something uncomfortable. Look at your current client list or your recent prospects, and for each one, answer. 1. Did I diagnose before I proposed, or did I jump to solutions? 2. Am I being paid for my thinking, or am I being paid for my time and tasks? 3. Have I kept clear boundaries between diagnosis, recommendation, and implementation? And 4. Is this client actually ready for the level of transformation I bring? Be brutally honest, because the clients to whom you have answered no to any of these questions, those are the ones who will directly or inadvertently cause you stress, scope creep, low margins, and sleepless nights. Okay, Module 1 done. Up next, building your signature system. These 4 principles are your foundation, but principles without process are just philosophy. You cannot walk into a client meeting and say, I operate like a doctor and only work with people who are ready for me. That's not a business, that's a manifesto. What you need is a system, a repeatable, sellable, demonstrable method that embodies these principles and turns them into something clients can buy. So in Module 2, we're going to start building your signature system, the spine of your entire business. This is the framework that will make your diagnostic process visible and valuable, allow you to package and price your thinking, create predictability that builds trust, differentiate yourself from every other consultant and advisor in your space, and give you something concrete to sell instead of vague consulting or advisory services.